Hey there everybody, how's it going? Nice to see you again. All right, today I've got the A7R5 doing the video and I got the A7C II right here. And I want to talk about the A7C II. Now, interestingly, it's only been about 2, 3, 4 weeks maybe a month, maybe 3 weeks that I've had this camera. Both these cameras actually. Feels like I've had them for years, which is really a good sign that these cameras are well integrated into my workflow. Very seamless transition from the Fujis. If anything, everything's a little easier now and all the quality of everything I'm doing is a little bit better now. So that means that for me personally, for the work that I'm doing and for the way that I do it and for what I need in a digital camera system, this was the right choice. But today I just want to talk a little bit about this is like first impressions maybe, kind of. But it can't be first impressions because, like I said, it feels like I've had these cameras for at least 6 months to a year now, which even though I've only had them 3 weeks maybe. So I did, now maybe my familiarity with these cameras comes from the fact that I had an A7R3, I've used an A7R4, I've used an A7 IV, I've used the A7C briefly, like for less than a week. And so I'm familiar with the cameras, okay, but or their predecessors, let's say, but let's talk about the A7C originally. The problem with that camera was that they lacked the front dial, and so your back thumb ended up doing a lot of the work, all the work, and ergonomically, it felt more like a point and shoot than it did it leaned more towards the point and shoot category for me, my impression of it, than towards the, like, this is a secondary camera for a pro or an add-on, let's say. And so it didn't really work for me. But I knew that the form factor and everything was like, if they could fine-tune the details around the edges, this would be an awesome camera. And that's exactly what they did with the A7C II. Now we've got the new menus. Now we've got the front control dial. It really is, this is a home run as far as I'm concerned. So let's talk about the negatives. There is only one little minor, I'm not even going to say it's a complaint. It's just, it would have been nice. So this is a would have been nice, right? It would have been nice if the card slot was a CF Express Type A / SD UHS 2 card slot like they have on the A7R5. They have 2 of them, right? That would have given me maximum compatibility. Does the camera need it for the speed? No, it doesn't. The V90 cards, as a matter of fact, all the videos that I've done so far with this camera, I've done it with a V30 card. I'm not taxing it to the highest level though. I am doing, this is primarily my video camera, and I'm not taxing it to its limits. I'm a little bit below the top of the line video that this can do, and so maybe that's why I'm getting away with a V30 card. What I am doing is 422 10-bit in the non-I, not the interlaced, but the easier one, if that makes any sense. I'm not a video guy, but if that makes any sense to anybody, or you want me to give you a clearer explanation of what I'm talking about, I'll look it up and try to put it in the comments for you if anybody asks. But I am shooting 4K 24p and 422 10-bit, like I said. For photography, the SD cards are just fine. You don't even need UHS 2 cards. The other place where the CF Express Type A cards would be helpful for me and most useful would be uploading the videos to my computer. That's where I would like that faster upload speed. Honestly, it's not a big deal. Like I said, I'm not even using the V90 cards, which would give me faster upload into my computer, I think, because they're faster SD cards, right? So, and I've got some, I'm not using them. I have a 256 gigabyte SanDisk Pro, whatever it is, V30 card, like I said, and it's working just fine, and the speeds are fine, and so it's not a big deal. So there's 4 categories that when I saw the A7C II, looking at the reviews and things and the specifications online, that I thought this camera was particularly well suited for. The first one being a standalone travel camera for somebody who wants the ultimate in image quality in the smallest package. It's a little bit bigger than an X100 Fuji. It's a little bit smaller than an X-T5, and it's 33 megapixel full frame sensor. That's brilliant. What a fantastic travel camera. You can even pair this. Sony makes a bunch of small little prime lenses like the 35-2.8 Zeiss, which would be a perfect combination with this, this camera, particularly for travel and things like that. So the first use case of this is a travel camera. It's a little breezy out here. Hopefully that's not coming across on the audio. If it is, my apologies. The second use case scenario for this camera would be as an everyday carry camera with, like I said, a couple of primes or even just this one lens, whatever. Just throw it in your bag for those times when you don't think you need a camera. What a wonderful camera, what a powerful camera to have with you in such a small package. I have a couple of the Tamron prime lenses, the 24 and the 35. Throw those in the bag. They're a little large for what they are, but they're very lightweight. Well made, particularly for the price point, and very sharp. And throw those in the bag, you know, maybe get the Sony A7CII so you have a little bit of, like, what a great 3-lens everyday carry camera kit. And that's one of the ways that I use this camera as well. So the third thing is it's a great backup camera for a pro, right? If you have an A1 or an A9 series, or as I do, the A7R5, it's a fantastic backup camera because it's still a 33 megapixel sensor, full frame. Remember, when the Nikon D810 came out, that was 36 megapixels, and everybody thought that was a super high-resolution camera, right? So 33 megapixels is nothing to sneeze at. The Pentax K1 is 36 megapixels. That's only 3 megapixels more. So amazing that they were able to squeeze that full-frame sensor into such a small body, and it's of such a great specification. And the fourth use case for this camera is as a vlogging camera for a YouTuber who's a photographer who also needs a backup camera. You see where I'm going with this. And so if I had to specify a camera for what I needed for me personally as a backup camera to my primary stills camera that could do video and vlog, and I could use it as an EDC camera, and use it, you know, when I am traveling for my photo trips as my travel camera of, you know, family snapshots, things like that. This camera checks off all the boxes. And so it really was like, yeah, this is what I've been looking for a long time. And the A7R5, which I've had my eye on since it came out, because I really like the A7 IV. I wasn't crazy about the A7R4, and that's what kind of made me kind of get away from that combination 2 years ago in 2022. Tried it for a month or two. Wasn't really crazy about the A7R4. When I saw the A7R5 and I saw what they changed, I said to myself, ooh, that's the layout of the, you know, the menu system from the A7 IV, which is a camera I really liked. And I said to myself, the A7R5 is probably the camera. When I saw this, it was like, there's the system. And so you see where I'm going with that. So, and it's proven, like I said, it feels like I've had these cameras for years, and I've only had them for like 3 weeks. Okay, smaller viewfinder. So yeah, the viewfinder is smaller. It's 2.6 million dots, but it's much better than the A7C's viewfinder in the sense that it's not like looking down a small tunnel or a long tunnel at a tiny viewfinder. They've improved the optics on it, and so it's a much more usable viewfinder. For what the roles of this camera are, or the intentions of what this camera is supposed to do, the viewfinder's just fine. And then of course we'll talk about the LCD, which is fully articulating, which is the right choice for this camera, being a hybrid video vlogging stills camera. Perfect. Of course the A7R5 rear 4D articulating screen is the best I've ever used on any camera system, and that would have been nice, but it would have increased the bulk this way. And so I'm happy with what I got right here, that this is the right choice for this camera. So they've also got the new Sony menus on here, which to be honest, I actually really like this time around. They're very clearly laid out. And the menus have depth now. It used to be with the older menus and the older cameras, you'd have like the menu settings that you'd go to and they were like on and off and there was no depth to them. There was no choices. Now they seem to have fleshed all that out a lot more. There's a lot more depth in the menus. You can pretty much customize these cameras any way you want to the point where there's so much customization, like I'm taking it easy. I'm changing things organically when I'm like, oh, I wish that was there, then I'll move it there. Otherwise, if you try to do it all at once, it's overwhelming. There's too many choices. You can put too much stuff in too many different places. So, of course, the battery life is fantastic. It takes the FZ100 and it just works great, never a problem. And I've touched on this a bit, size and weight, absolutely fantastic. Like I said, it's a little smaller than an XT5, and it's a little bit bigger than an X100, and for a 33 megapixel full frame, that's amazing. So size and weight is really terrific. I will mention also, I have one accessory for this, well two, there's Peak Design strap, obviously, which I'm using right now. The small rig Arca Swiss plate on the bottom. And that's all I need. I don't need an L bracket. Like I said, this is mainly my video camera. And this small rig plate on the bottom is terrific. They even make it in a matching silver, which is really nice. And it was like 23 bucks on sale, regularly $29. Like, why even bother putting it on sale? You're giving the thing away to begin with. But I'll take it. So yeah, there is that. So really cool. That's the accessory I got for it. Other than that, you don't really need anything else. Yeah, I talked about the memory card. I'm okay with the fact that it has one memory card. It seems like there's a space they could have put two. Don't know what's behind the panel though. There might be all kinds of electronics in there. It is a very small package and they might not have been able to fit two memory cards. Two memory cards would have been nice. That would have made this really viable as like a wedding camera. Two of these, you're done. But with the one memory card, nah, I don't think I wouldn't be doing weddings with it. So other than that, other than shooting weddings or things like that for clients, you know, one memory card is fine, and I'm good with that. All right, so in conclusion, again, just to sum up, I wasn't sure about Sony. As a matter of fact, a couple of years ago, I really hated Sony. They just weren't there, you know, in terms of from a photographer's standpoint of a camera user interface. There were other cameras that were better. And but at this point, like, Sony has like really upped their game. I knew that they made a huge jump to the A7 IV. That was a huge jump. That was the first Sony camera that I could live with, right? That piqued my curiosity, like I said, for the A7R5, which, to be honest with you, I really knew I'd like it. I just didn't like the price, right? The $500 off over the holiday season last year helped prod that along, plus this camera, plus this lens. In terms of, like, I saw the whole system that would be maybe an improvement for me personally, for the work that I do and for what I want in my work. I thought it would be an improvement for me. And that's why I kind of figured, let's give this stuff a shot. But since getting this stuff, and I can't believe I'm saying this about Sony, I am really impressed, and I'm super impressed with the A7C II. Just solid, small, lightweight EDC, checks off all those boxes for me. Video camera, fantastic. A7R5 is even better for the role that I need it for as my primary stills camera, etc. And clearly it can do as a backup B camera for me, or primary camera if I need it, right? So fantastic. Okay, I am here today at an Oregon Trail site, and behind me is one of the wagons. And evidently in 1843 to 57, the Oregon Trail came right through here. There's, I'm right at the opening of the bottom of the Ladd Canyon. So they would have been coming down from the Baker Valley, which was at 3,500 feet, to the Grand Ronde Valley, which was 2,700 feet. And they came down about 700 feet, well, more than that, I'm sure it, you know, undulates. But so the Ladd Canyon was a really tricky spot. Evidently, I was reading the plaque over here, they had to chain their wagons to the trees and lower them down 2-mile grade, and evidently it was really hard work and really dangerous. It was one of the hardest parts of the Oregon Trail, was less than a mile away from me right here, which is fascinating. And so when they got to here, like, they just chilled and relaxed and set up camp. So that was 175 years ago, which is absolutely fascinating, you know, to think that 175 years ago something was happening here, and yeah, fascinating. Hey, so thanks for coming out today. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and we'll see you out here. Have a great one. Bye.